All right, well, I am excited to feature Phyllis Reagin on the Show today. Please welcome Phyllis. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Feel good? You feel great? It's a Saturday? You're home?
It's a Saturday, trying to chill.
Trying to chill. Now, you are the former global head of diversity and inclusion with Warner Brothers Entertainment, and also a doctoral-trained behaviorist and seasoned leadership coach. What amazing credits you have, my dear.
Thank you.
Tell me about yourself and your professional life.
Absolutely. So I grew up in Southern California. I was raised in Orange County, but my adult life has been in the Los Angeles area. And I have had a couple of different professional jobs. I've been in the entertainment media industry, also had some leadership development experience in the healthcare industry. And now I have several companies that I actually run. So one that I founded is strictly leadership development coaching, executive coaching. And then my other is actually an executive, I do executive productions around leadership topics, around people of color that are actually behind the scenes and in front of the scenes that we don't often know about. And so I like to feature them as well and do productions around and tell their stories.
Wow. Now, out of all of those amazing titles, the most important one is mom. Tell me about motherhood.
Oh, mom. Yes, absolutely. So I have a 15-year-old and I have 4 grown-ish stepkids, somewhere in the 20s range. And they're all over the United States living their lives. One's with us just temporarily because of COVID. But we are a busy, booming family and just, trying to make life work in these very strange times right now.
I do understand. You tell me about your professional life. Where do you draw that inspiration for your life's work?
You know what, I draw it, well now I draw it from all the clients that I have because everybody shows up with such interesting stories. And so they inspire me to create programs and create products based on what's going on in their lives. But throughout my life, my inspiration, I was never one of those kids that knew what they were going to do. I thought I was going to be a doctor, then I wanted to be a broadcaster, then I wanted to be a psychologist. So
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
I just took it as it was coming and just evolved, and I continue to evolve, but I think I'm closer now to the person I want to be. But I just have enjoyed trying different roles on and being in different spaces, and that's my story. So along the way, I've been able to merge 2 areas that I love. I love business and I love psychology, and now I blend the 2 together.
Wow, look at you. Amazing, amazing, amazing. That's so inspirational. Let's talk about employees. Many employees suffer burnout after overwhelming stress and anxiety, especially now in the wake of COVID-19. How can leaders like yourself reduce burnout and mental anguish for their staff?
Oh, and I'm hearing that so much. So everyone I coach now, I'd say 95% of them are showing up with high degrees of stress and burnout. They're being asked to work longer hours and they're not setting their days up very well. So now we have these back-to-back meetings from morning till night. There are no boundaries around us. So as leaders, I think it's really important for us to encourage our teams not to do that, to really have defined boundaries, and tell them, turn Slack off, disable it in the evenings, have time for yourself, and really encourage them not to have these back-to-back meetings, but implement a rule of 15 to 20 minutes between meetings so people can reflect on the last meeting and really refresh before the next meeting. And definitely tell them to have a lunch break. So get outside, get some fresh air, move your body. All of those actual activities have research have shown to really significantly reduce stress and burnout.
Excellent tips. And I love the part about unplugging at night, because I know that can be a challenge. You're working all day, you feel like you haven't gotten as much done as you would like to, so you just continue into the evening. So unplugging, resetting, I hear those keywords.
Yes, absolutely. And then one area that I have my clients focus on also is creating zones in their house, because we're now, everything's together. So clients are eating their lunch and their dinner in front of their laptops. So nothing feels distinct from one of the other, and it really creates this kind of fatigue on the brain when you're looking at the same thing, you're in the same space. So I tell them, create an entertainment zone where you're just doing your Netflix and just chilling. Have your eating zone where you just eat and you're not looking at your laptop. Have your work and creative zone, and that's all you're doing in that space. And then have your physical zone where you do your exercise and any of your workouts that you want to do, lift weights, whatever it is, in a special place. And so you move about these zones, and you don't have to have a big space, just some clearly defined areas. It is so helpful for your brain to really be able to distinguish, like, these are the activities I'm doing, and they're not going to be blended. You'll feel like you have more of a life than what we're having right now with COVID.
I like that you feel like you'll have a break. Like if you're encouraging someone to unplug at night or to take your lunch break, you actually can feel like you're really on a break.
Absolutely.
How can employers promote mental health awareness in the workplace for the employees who have physically gone back to work? Because everybody's not working from home. Some people are back in offices. So, how can companies or leaders promote mental health awareness?
Well, first of all, it has to be a part of the dialogue. They have to have ongoing conversations from different channels. I mean, it has to be where HR is the one saying that your mental health matters, your emotional well-being matters. It needs to come from your leaders. It needs to come from top down. They need to be able to really feel that their companies believe in it, support it, and it's not just talk. And that's giving them programs. So access to programs for reaching out to mental health coaches or mental health counselors, really finding ways in which they can focus on themselves for self-care. So encouraging them to have personal days off, go home, take time to take care of your family, and so that they know that these are values that are held highly by their companies and that they're supporting them by allowing them to have these days that they need to really take care of themselves.
So compassion, starting there.
Compassion, absolutely. Yeah.
Aside from worry over the health crisis, many workers find themselves concerned with the lack of opportunities for advancement. And it feels like such a bad time to focus on advancement, like, about that promotion, How can you encourage anyone watching to pursue expansion in their own right, despite fears regarding the state of the economy?
And I think many of the companies right now are reducing their employees. So there's a reduction. So there's a fear that you may not even have the role you have. So a lot of employees are saying, I shouldn't be having a conversation about promotions right now. I'm lucky I have the job I have right now, that I'm safe in this role. But I do encourage them to not stop connecting to their major stakeholders, to still reach out to their mentors and the people that are really their promoters, and just continue to be seen. So visibility is really key right now with all this Zoom meetings that we're having. It's hard to get in front of those people, to have a plan, have some strategies about how do I connect with these people and keep that going. You may not get a promotion in 2020, but if you are not visible, you certainly won't get one in 2021. So you really have to have a plan this year to just make sure you're connecting to the people that can promote your career.
Fantastic advice. Fantastic. Now, whether it's in life, love, or career, self-doubt is never in our best interest. How do you personally encourage to strengthen their mental aptitude? You seem like a woman who is great mental aptitude,
I do, but it was a work in progress. So early on, underconfidence, right? So there's underconfidence when you don't have the competency level. You're just learning your role. You're in a new industry, perhaps, and you're making connections, and you're not well known. So you have low confidence. And the more experience you have, the confidence increases. But then there are people that no matter what accolades they have, achievements they have, they still feel like a fraud. So I work a lot with women and men that have self-imposed beliefs that they're not enough, they're not good enough, and that might fall under imposter syndrome. So I do a lot of work around that. There's great strategies that really helps people change their mindset and begin to have the thoughts that connect them more to the reality that they are doing things well. And COVID of all times is really making people have a lot of self-doubt. because we're doing roles that we have not had before. And so we're wondering, like, can I really teach my children? Am I going to be able to be the entertainment director of my family and run my business? And so there's a lot of self-doubt that creeps into that. So I ask people to have a lot of compassion right now for themselves. You're doing the best you can right now, and not to expect more than that for themselves.
Great advice. How have you personally eliminated any prejudice? How do you eliminate your own self-doubt?
I have to do the same work I ask my clients to do. Because when it creeps in, you have to take a look at, is that thought true or not? What's the evidence for or against that thought? If it's not true, then I do the work of replacing the thought with something that's more helpful to me. So if I'm feeling like, oh, I'm just not going to be able to manage this day, I replace the thought with, I'm doing the best I can, and 75% will be okay. And that will change the way you feel about yourself.
I love that. I'm doing the best that I can. Oh my gosh. This even that line itself will just make you feel so much better. Like, I am even now doing the best. I love that. I'm gonna do that too.
Good. And have your mantras, right? Have that around.
I'm taking that one. Thank you, Phyllis. You have been a true inspiration to myself, and it's my hope that my viewers can learn and glean from your wisdom that you imparted on us today. I want to thank you for your time. What's the best way that we can stay in contact with you? If we have questions, we want to work with you, or we just want to follow your journey?
Absolutely. Just go to my website. It's easy enough. It's phyllisreagin.com, and follow me across social media at Coach Phyllis R.
Fantastic. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I can't wait to share the video with you, and you take care.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.